Yeah. So what is this meaning? In order in extract to main, you need to look at index as well. Okay. And what is there in the index?
That source folder index.
In the source folder, look for index.html page. Okay. You see
It's displaying the path.
sorry.
No, I was telling in the previous example you were showing that it is displaying the path too.
Yeah, this is the path. Yeah. So
Yeah,
if
that
you check index.html, you see our normal HTML code written doc type, HTML, and one header and one body. So where will the visual section of the code lies in? Body section, am I correct? Whatever is visually seen in the HTML will be contained in which section?
body.
Body section. What is there in the body section? What is this tag name?
App root.
App root. Okay. Now if we check, this app component has the selector app root. Okay. Now did you get it why the HTML of app component is getting rendered? Did you understand or not? Shall I repeat it once more?
Yes, Anush.
So two parameters are responsible for starting. Okay. One is main.ts file and one is index.html file. Okay. In the main.ts file, what you will contain? You will contain the main module name, that is app module. Okay. And if you go here and check in the app module, bootstrap meaning starting. Okay. The starting component is app component they are telling. This is one parameter. Apart from this, when we look at index.html, the visual portion of anything in a web page is contained usually in the body section. Okay. In that body, you are specifying app root, which is the selector of this app component. Do you remember yesterday? I created one component and I tried it to be in the app component as a custom HTML tag. For example, sample like this. You remember?
Yes, Anusha.
Yes, Anush.
The same selector name for the app component is app root that is being consumed in index.html file. Okay, that is what being loaded in the browser here. Any doubts, anyone?
No, Anush.
Okay.
No, Anusha.
Okay. And now I will talk about what are modules. You have seen one module here. Am I correct? App.module.ts. Correct? So, what is basically a module? Okay. Modules are basically used to register all the components you have created. Okay. All the services you have, whatever you have created, you need to declare them in the module. Okay. For that purpose, we are using modules in our Angular application. Okay. And if you want, there will be many modules in our application, but there will be only one root module. Okay, every application can contain one or more than one modules, but one module will be compulsorily there. That module is called root module. Okay, and in this case, the root module is our app.module.ts. Okay, and if you want to create any module file, you will be creating with name. Okay, dot module dot ts. But in case of component, what you will do? Name dot component dot html you will give. Am I correct? Name dot tell me the css file.
Component dot
Component.css.
CSS file. Okay, and the next one,
name dot component dot ts.
name dot
.ts.
component dot ts file. Similarly, if you want to create any module, you will be creating with name.module.ts. Okay. And what decorator you will be using to tell the Angular that it's a component?
At the rate.
At the rate component.
At the rate of component decorator. Okay. Decorators always starts with at the rate, but at the rate alone is not a decorator. Okay. At the rate component decorator is used for creating to tell the Angular that it's a component. Okay. And what are the three things you will contain in a component?
Selector.
Selector, very good. Selector, and whatever name you want to give, you can give it. Okay. Selector, and then
Template
Template
URL.
URL.
Style.
template URL. Okay, very good. Template URL. That is the path of the HTML.
CSS file.
Template meaning HTML, right? Template means HTML. Okay. Template URL is the path of your HTML file. Then style URLs is a path of what you will give?
CSS.
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 /name.css. Okay. So similarly, to indicate this is a component file, you are using at the rate of component decorator. Similarly, we need to give one decorator for module to tell that it's a module file. Okay. For that, you will be using one decorator called at the rate ng module decorator. Okay. What decorator will be used? What decorator is
At the rate ng module.
the rate of ng module decorator will be used. Okay. For example, I'll show you here. You are seeing here, right? At the rate ng module decorator. Okay. Any doubt? Any doubt till now?
No, Anusha.
Okay.
No, Anusha.
So this module contains some information related to imports, exports, providers, whatnot, everything. Okay. I will first tell you what are imports. Okay. Some things are needed by the module in order to work. Okay. All those related modules will be given in this import section. Okay. And there is one thing called declarations. Okay. Whenever you create any component, you need to declare it in the module. For example, this app component is automatically generated by Angular. Am I correct? So if you see, what is the name of your app component? What is the name of your app component? You see something here, right? App component. This is the name of your app component. So every component you create in Angular, that has to be declared in the module. So if you go to app module.ts file and you check the declaration block, you can see app component. Am I correct?
Yes, Anusha.
So you need to declare it here. Okay. In the declaration block, every component you create has to be declared in the declaration block. So if you don't contain this line, okay, if you just simply give app component, it's wrong. You need to give even the path of the component. Am I correct? To where to take the path. Okay. For that purpose, you will be using something called this import statement. So import from this folder, this file. Okay. For importing like this, giving the import keyword like this, you are giving the export keyword here. Suppose if you don't give the export keyword here, right, you cannot import it. Did you understand? If you don't give the export keyword here, which means that this component cannot be exported to any other components or modules. Are you seeing the error?
Yes, Anusha.
See, it is giving an error. Import, wait a minute. You see the error. Export app component imported as component was not found because the module has no export. Are you seeing this keyword? This thing has no export. If you want to import anything, you need to give the export keyword here, then only you can import it. Okay, and any component you have created, you need to be declare it in the module file. Any doubts till now?
No, Anisha.
No.
No.
Apart from this declaration, I said imports. So these particular module has to be importing certain things in order to work. Okay. For example, just ignore about these two things. So every root module will import browser module so that this application is accessible in the browser. For that reason, we will be importing this browser module. Okay, so every root module contains this browser module. Okay, and let me show you one more sample database. Okay, there is only one module file. Huh? Okay, it does not contain more modules. So till now you understood, right? So imagine that a root module should always import this browser module. By importing this browser module only, we will know that this is the root module for this application. Okay. An application can have one or more modules. Okay. Any doubts till now? Any doubts?
No, Anisha.
Suppose if you are creating any services, okay, that you need to give it in the providers block, that I will tell you in the future reference. Okay. Any doubts, anyone till now? Now let us create one sample component. Okay. What should I do first in order to create one component? I need to create one folder. Am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. I am creating one sample folder. Okay. What are the things should be available in this sample folder?
Sample.component.
Sample dot component dot
HTML.
HTML. Very good. Then
Sample.component.css.
sample dot component dot CSS. Okay. And then
Sample.component.ts.
component dot TS. Okay. To tell the Angular that it's a component file, what we should do?
@component.
At the rate, we should use at the rate component decorator. Am I correct? What are the three
Yes,
things
Anisha.
available in the decorator?
Selector.
Selector.
Selector, very good. Which is our wish. I can give just sample. Okay. And then what is the other thing?
Template.
Template URL. Okay. Template URL, which is the URL of your HTML file. What is the URL file? What is the URL I should write here? Sample dot component dot HTML. Okay. What is the next thing?
Style URL.
Style URL. Okay. And what you should give it here?
Sample.component.
Sample dot component dot CSS. If we are creating any component, what should be the class name here? What we should use? You should name this component, right? So you will create one keyword called class and you will give the name of the component. What is the name of the component here?
Sample.
Sample, and it should be prefixed with component. Okay. Any component.
Sample component.
Yeah. And what keyword I should give before this?
Export.
Export keyword. Very good. Okay. Now, wait a minute. We need to import this component. Now, whenever we create any component, what we should do? We need to declare it in the module file. Am I correct?
Yes, Anisha.
So what is the module file here? What is the module file in this code base?
I can see app.module.ts.
App.module.ts, which means that we need to declare it here. Am I correct? Which means in which block we will keep it. Declaration block or imports block, providers block or bootstrap. Which block we will give?
Declarations.
Declarations. You need to provide it in the declarations. Okay. So in order to declare it, you need to just export it. Okay. Import sample component from so and so dot slash okay. And suppose I will give something in here. Okay, let's show. Right now, what is visible in the web browser?
Anusha.
Anusha.
Suppose if I want this is Angular class to be visible in the web browser, then what we should do? What we should do? We should take this selector. Am I correct?
Yes, Anusha.
Yes, sir.
Sample. And where we should keep it? Which is the starting component? There we need to keep this selector. Which is the starting component here?
App module.
App component is the starting module. So we'll go to app component.html file and we will just use the sample tag. Okay. Any doubt, anyone?
No doubts.
No, Anush.
Kavya, Teja, Vishal, Archana.
No,
No,
no doubt.
Okay. Suppose if I want to create one variable here, how will I create? I am telling create one variable name of type string, then assign a value of Jansi to it. How can we do that?
Name.string.
Name, you will give the variable. How to specify the type of this name? You will use
Name dot
common. Am I correct?
Yes, Anusha.
Yes, sir.
What we will give? What is its type?
Variable.
String.
We go
String. String is its type,
string.
right? Then I am
Yes.
assigning value Jansi. Okay. Suppose if I want this name to be accessed in HTML file, okay, these can be happened with double curly braces. Okay, you can see something called H1. Okay, and you can use double curly braces. Okay, and you can just give the name variable here. So this is called as string interpolation. Okay. And you can see Jansi here. Am I correct?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Anusha.
What we have done, whatever variable you have in the component file, that variable you can take it. In the HTML file, you can give double curly braces and you can access the value. This is known as string interpolation. Any doubt, anyone?
No, Anusha.
No, Anush.
Okay.
Ah,
Now suppose if I have one object, okay, and objects, okay. Now if I say it has some name, Okay, as Anusha, age 24. How to define the types for this object?
Declaration, object declaration.
No. So for name, you have given the type as string. Am I correct? For objects, you need to define some type, right? TypeScript means whatever you declare should have a string. What we should do here?
Interface declaration.
Interfaces we need to create interfaces. Okay. For creating an interface, what we should do?
Interface declaration.
You need to create one keyword called interface and the name of the interface. It's your wish. Okay. And what are the things that will be contained here?
Name.
Name of type
String.
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 Very good. Then
Age.
Age
okay.
Number.
24.
So, very good.
Number.
Now what you will do, we will just take out these details and we will just specify its type. Am I correct?
Essential.
Okay.
Yes, Anusha.
I will tell you about what are structural directives in Angular. Okay.
Okay.
Structural directives. Okay. These structural directives are basically three. Okay. And they usually starts with star. Okay. For example, star ng if. Okay. And we have star ng for. And we have star ng switch. Okay. But we mainly use star ng if and star ng for. In the coming classes, I will teach you about what star ng switch is used for. Okay. Star ng if is basically used for rendering anything on condition in the HTML file. Okay. For example, I'll say in the normal JS, how we will write? If we have one variable a, okay, and its value is 5, and if we say if a equal to 5, then print console.log of a's value is 5, else print a's value is other. How we will do it? Using what? To check the condition, what operator we will use?
We can use if else
If.
here.
If condition, right? Very good. But that if will be available only in the TS file or only in the JS file, but not in the HTML file. Okay. So for structural directives, star ng is also similar. Okay. It is used for checking the condition, okay, in the HTML. For example, sorry. For example, I have one variable here, okay? Show name, okay? And this is a Boolean, okay? And its value is false initially, okay? And let me add one condition in the HTML, okay? So, okay, now what I'm doing, I will create one div, or you can have h1 directly. What we were doing string interpolation before to show the name. Am I correct? Am I correct?
Yes, Anusha.
So
Yes,
what you
Anusha.
can do here, you can add one switch ngif condition here. You can use star ngif, and this is always you can give it in a start tag, okay? And star ngif equal to show name, okay? Suppose if the show name is evaluated to true, then this particular h1 will be shown here, else it is not shown, okay? For your reference, I'm again showing you have name. and its value is assigned with Jansi. Okay, in the HTML, what you have done, you have given H1. If show name is evaluated to true, then this particular H1 element will be shown. Is it shown right now? Jansi is shown.
No.
No, no.
Because why? Why it is not shown?
Because it is not fulfilling the NG if
Condition is false.
And
That's
this
why.
condition, because this variable is evaluated to true. Okay. Suppose if we make it true, okay, then you can see Jansi here. If you want to render any HTML element based on a condition, then you will be using the structural directive star ngIf. Any doubts, anyone?
Can you please repeat it once, Anshu?
Suppose if you want to render any HTML element, okay, based on a condition, then you will be using star ngIf. Rendering means showing in the application. Okay, if you want to render any HTML element. So what is HTML element? Start tag, some content, and the end tag is called HTML element, right? If you want to render this HTML element into the application based on a condition, then you will be using star ngIf. Any doubts, anyone?
No, Nisha.
Any doubts, Vishal, Teja?
No, Anuj.
No, Nisha.
No
No.
doubts.
Okay. Now I will tell you, okay. I will create one more Boolean, show some info, and it's a Boolean, and okay. Now what I will do, I will create one H1 or one paragraph. Okay. Now, if I simply save it, what you can see, you can so you are able to see this paragraph. Am I correct? So now I will tell you to show this paragraph. Okay. Whenever show some info is true. Okay. Then what should I do? There is one variable called show some info. Suppose if it is evaluated to true, then only I want to show this paragraph. Otherwise, no. What should I do for this purpose?
Show info is Boolean is equal true condition.
So if you mean to say, if I just directly give the true here, it will show, I said, this should be shown based on a condition. Okay. So right now its value is false. Okay. And when it's evaluated to true, then only I want to show this condition. I want to show this paragraph. Right now its value is false and still you are able to see. Am I correct?
Yes, Anshu.
Yes.
So I want you people to add some condition here so that if it is false, this will not be shown. If that particular show info variable is true, then only it will show. What should I do?
NG if condition you will take.
Very good. What should I write here? NG if condition. Star NG if, and what value I should give it here?
Show info.
Show some info. Okay. I'm just saving it right now. You can see this is paragraph. Is it visible or not?
This is not visible.
Why? Because
No,
It is true.
it is
it is false. Okay.
False.
It is true, then what will happen?
Paragraph will be shown.
Paragraph will be shown. Any doubts, anyone till now?
No.
No.
Understood.
Okay. Now I will tell you about star ng for. Okay. So basically, for what purpose we will be using for?
Condition.
I
For loop,
told-
for loop.
For loop. For loop is used for what purpose? Basically, loops are used for what purpose?
Conditions for each.
Yeah. For what they are used for? Teja, Vishal, Kavya.
For specific conditions, Anusha, like
For what they are used? What is the main motive of all those for each filter, map, and for loop, traditional for loop? For what they are used?
for looping.
For looping, very good. To access each element, okay. And for looping purpose, we will be using for loop, for each, map, filter. Am I correct?
Sure.
So that for each map, filter, or traditional for loop, in which kind of files we can use then? They will be used only in JS and TS files. Am I correct?
Yes, Anusha.
Suppose if you want to loop over an array in the HTML, okay, you will be using one star ng for. Okay, if you want to loop over an element in the HTML, if you want to loop over an array in the HTML, then you will be using star ng for. Any doubts, anyone?
No doubt.
No doubts.
No understood.
Now, sorry. Now what is here? We have this object. Okay, what we will do? We will make it as an array of object. Okay, and let me do it. What is this right now? An array of object. Am I correct?
Yes.
If you want to loop over the each element of this object, okay, and print some data, what we can do? Okay, let me. So I will create one div, and in this what I will do? Just loop over it. ng star ng for. Okay, and this is the syntax. Let object of, what is the variable name here? For objects, array of objects, what is the variable name here?
String.
Sorry,
Details.
this is interface name. What is the name of the array of objects here? What is the variable name here?
Objects.
Objects. Okay. So if you go, let object of objects, which means this is an array of object in that takes single object. Okay. Now what I will do? I will do h1. Okay. I will give it obj dot name. Okay. Then one more what I will give obj dot age. Okay. Now you can see Anusha 24, Sweetie 24. Any doubts? What I have done here, I was looping over the objects array. Okay, this is the syntax of star ng for let object of objects. You can give whatever name you want. Okay, let object of objects, anything. Okay, these will refer to one single object at a time. First, it will take this one. Next, it will take this one. Okay, and you can give object dot name and object dot age will print the values. Any doubts?
No.
No,
Anish.
No.
Okay. Now we will create one more component. Okay. And let us say sample 2. X. Okay. Now, what are the 3 files should be present in this?
X dot component dot
X dot component dot HTML. Okay. And
X dot
dot
component
component dot
CSS.
yes. Okay. And X dot component dot CSS. Okay. What decorator we use here?
At the rate of component.
At the rate of component decorator. And what are the 3 things we will be using here?
Select template URL and style URL.
Selector. Okay, it is selector X. Okay. And the template URL we can give. And whenever we create any component, what we should do?
Import
We need to give the class name. Okay. Export class. What is the class name here?
Component.
Component.
X component.
X.
Okay. And whenever we create any class, what we should do?
Declare.
Declare in where? Continue, Jansi. Declare where? Whenever we create any component, we need to declare it in module file. Am I correct or not?
Yes.
Yeah. What you will do here, you will just give the 1 comma and you will give it X component and you need to import it. Okay. For example, X component. And let me give one H1 here. So if you want these particular HTML to be rendered in the browser, there are 2 ways you can do it. What you can do, you can just take this selector. You can just import it in the sample. Or what you can do, you can import it in the app component as well. Okay. This is X component. Are you able to see? So why I said you can import in sample component, because sample component is again being used in app component. Understood? Whatever is there in the HTML, that entire thing will get rendered in the app component. Am I correct?
Yes, Anish.
Okay. Or if you don't want to give it in sample component, what you can do, you can just directly remove it here and you can place it in the app component. Any doubts, anyone?
No.
No.
Okay. What is string interpolation?
Using the variable from app component.
Very good. Using the variable from the TS file using double curly braces is called string interpolation. You need to specify using double curly braces. Okay.
Okay.
What are structural directives?
ngIf,
Just
ng for,
ngif, star ngif and
star ng.
RNG for
star ngif is used for what purpose?
For use it for if conditions.
If conditions.
In
You need
HTML.
to explain it. HTML. Suppose if you want to render any HTML element based on a condition, then you will be using star ngif. What is the purpose of star ng for?
For loop conditions, use it
for
for
looping.
If you want to loop over an array in the HTML, you will
In
be
HTML.
using what structural directive?
Star ng for.
RNG.
Star ng4. Okay, very good. And which decorator is used for telling that it's a module file?
At the rate count.
At the rate ng module.
At the
ng
rate
module.
of ng module. Okay. If we create any component, where we need to declare that component?
In app dot.
Yes.
Where we need to declare it?
We have to declare in TS file.
Wherever we create any component, where we need to declare it? What you are seeing here?
Module.
You
Module.ts.
need to declare it in the module file. Whenever you create any component, you need to declare it in which file?
Module.
TS file.
Module file. Okay. What is the naming convention you will use for module file?
At the rate of ng module.
ng mod.
Naming convention
And
for the file. Module file.
module.ts.
Module.ts. Name.module.ts. But in case of components, how will be the naming convention?
Name that component .html, name that component .ts.
Very good. Very good. And how do an Angular application starts?
The rate.
Sorry? How
The
an Angular application starts?
bootstrap.
I said
Angular.json file.
every Angular
Angular
application
JS.
consists of a file called angular.json. In that, what are the two things we need to look at it?
Index and main.
Index main.
Main. What will be there in that main? Main.ts file. What will be there in the main.ts file? What will be
Object.
there in the main.ts file?
Declarations.
Bootstrapping the module will be there, which means that the starting module will be there. What is the starting module?
Bootstrap.
Bootstrap.
App module. Am I correct? If you
Yes.
go to
Bootstrap.
main.ts file, it will contain bootstrap module, which means that this is the starting module, okay, which is app module. What will be present in the app module?
App module.ts file is there.
In the app.module.ts file, we will contain one parameter called bootstrap. It is says app component, which means that app component is the first component. Apart from this, if we go to the index.html and check in the border section, we will contain the selector of app component. Am I correct? This is the selector for app component. Am I correct?
Yes, Anusha.
Yes, sir.
Any doubts till now? And how many root modules will be there in Angular application?
One.
One. Very good. I said an Angular application can have one or more than one modules, but one module will be there, which is the root module. Okay. And how will you tell that this is a root module? I said it will contain one import called browser module. Okay. This browser module, by seeing that, we will get to know that this is a starting module
Root
or
module.
the root module. Any doubts so far?
No,
No,
Anusha.
No doubt.
Okay. Done for today, or shall I tell some more concepts?
I think it's enough, Anusha.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
Anusha.
going very slowly so that you will understand each bit every day. Okay. Just
Okay, Anusha.
go to StackBlix Angular and try creating some variables and accessing them in the HTML. Create some components and try to render their template in the browser. Okay. You can just go to this website, StackBlix.
Okay, Anusha.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Anusha.
Bye.
Bye.